Hey guys, well, it's time for another out-of-breath, arm-sore Packer Minute, the show where I walk around the neighborhood talking about the Packers, and you watch to see if I get struck by a cobra. Today I want to talk about question marks. I have been fairly positive, and I'm actually pretty dang excited for training camp and for the 27 Packers in general after what I think is probably one of Ted Thompson's best off seasons, to be honest. And at the same time, today I thought, you know what? I can't just be a homer. I can't entirely see the world through green and gold colored glasses, because there are definitely some question marks. And I thought I'd highlight 3 of those today in today's show. And if you want, you can throw your question marks in the comments below. Question mark number 1, and I think this is on everyone in Packer Nation's mind, is, can this team stay healthy? I mean, we have seen year in and year out that the Green Bay Packers just cannot seem to stay even relatively healthy. Healthy is a relative term in the NFL. Of course, we all realize this, but for crying out loud, we have had year after year of multiple double-digit folks unavailable when we really need them. And I think the biggest example of this was the divisional round playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys. And we won that game. We won that game, and we were so banged up, didn't have Jordy Nelson. We had a laundry list from week 1, starting with our best cornerback, Sam Shields, who was not available all year. And this has an impact big time. I think it's a credit to our organization, a credit to our coaching staff, and first and foremost, a credit to our players that we were able to win that game against a completely healthy Dallas Cowboys team who was playing at home, who had a fantastic running game and had basically the world by the tail, and we took them down. But the question for this year is, can we stay healthy? And a couple things to my mind. Of course, it's a question that can't be answered. You have to watch the season play itself out. But I do think this is, as McCarthy said, a more athletic team, so I think that helps us. I think we are a faster team. I think if we bring the stank to them, we lessen the chance of injury, which is not always the case. We saw how Sam Shields got injured on tackle in the Jacksonville game. But it is a big, big question mark. I think if you could look in a crystal ball and tell any Packer fan that this team was going to finally stay healthy in 2017, I think most Packer fans would say, listen, we are in it to win it, if that's the case. We can't do that, but I do think we have a chance this year with as athletic as we are. The biggest question mark injury-wise for me comes on at the edge rusher position, the outside linebackers and Matthews and Perry. Can they stay on the field for an entire 16-game season and then carry that into what is an actually quite long postseason as well? I think had we been able to get past the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship game, then what you're seeing is an extra week to get ready. And we don't get that unless we get a bye week for the playoffs by our seeding at 1 or 2, which I think is possible. Again, if we could look in the crystal ball and we knew we would be healthy during the season, I would expect we have a good chance at a number 1 or 2 seed in the NFC, in which case we would have a little extra rest. But the fact of the matter is, if we were healthy enough to get there in the first place, we wouldn't need that extra week of rest the way we needed it this past offseason, the offseason before, and practically every offseason or postseason that I can remember. Now, is it absolutely critical that we stay healthy? I mean, people would say that it was, but the facts dispute that, because we won the Super Bowl in 2010 with 16 players on IR. So we can do it. It's certainly not ideal, and we certainly up our chances if we can stay healthy. And nobody wants to see a Packers team with starters going down and going in for surgery during the year and waiting to get them back. We had Jared Cook injured. We lost Eddie Lacy. Sam Shields right off the bat. Clay Matthews couldn't stay on the field. And even Nick Perry finally has his quote-unquote healthy season, and he breaks his hand and ends up having to wear a club. It's not a good situation, and it's a question that I think the answer to that question will be paramount to the final ending of the 2017 season. A second question that I have in mind right now is how quickly can Kevin King develop? Kevin King, our second-round draft choice, basically he's our first-rounder. Expected to perform well, 6'3", 200 pounds, 4.4 speed. I mean, the guy's got all the physicals you could ask for. He is, physically speaking, he is going to be, he looks like a dominating cornerback for the Green Bay Packers, but he's a rookie, and he's going to be a rookie that has a lot of expectations on him because of the situation. He is also a rookie that was not able to attend the OTAs, and so he is a step behind at this point, and training camp will tell how quickly he develops. But the sooner we see Kevin King take a starting role as a perimeter corner on the defense, to my mind, the quicker we see this defense truly come into being as what could be, I do think if we stay healthy, again, crystal ball, a top 10 defense. I do think, and I think we could even do better than that because of the way we have enhanced our defensive backfield. And I apologize for the somebody at the old somebody's sawing today, doing a little work. It's a beautiful day. So yeah, so Kevin King, if he develops quicker, I think we become, quote unquote, faster. I think we become the defense we can be. Now my third question involves Vince Biegel. How quickly can Vince Biegel get on the field? Or will he be forced onto the field because of injuries? So we saw what happened when Sam Shields went down. The fallout from Sam Shields amounted to Ladarius Gunter having to take a starting role for us. And that's not a good situation. We saw that play out, and we didn't like it a bit. And we'll see if we have to do that with, say, Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews, Nick Perry, injury prone. Now you got Jaron Elliott in there, maybe Fackrell in the mix. But how quickly is Vince Biegel going to develop? Number one, because he's not going to be able to, it doesn't look like he's going to be available for part of, or much of training camp either. So how quickly he develops, how quickly he is forced onto the field, these are big questions, I think. The Packers are expecting a lot, especially Vince Biegel. He has extra expectations sort of ladled upon him by virtue of the fact that he came out of UW-Madison. And some of those are fair, some of them are not. I'm excited for Vince Biegel, but there are big question marks around his foot. How well does it heal? How quickly does it heal? This is a re-injury of a re-injury prone injury. So it becomes a big question, and one that will only be answered by probably preseason games, and we'll see what happens then in the season. So obviously, as you can see, a lot of the question marks revolving around injury, and isn't that ironic for Packer fans? It's not our favorite thing, but we don't have any choice. Well, those are a few things I wanted to talk about today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. I will be back again tomorrow. I've been off a few days, but I'll be back again tomorrow. We'll do some more Out of Breath Armstrong Packer Minute. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but we'll think of something. It's the doldrums, so I'm going to be bringing you some Packer talk, because I don't want you guys to lack excitement and information during the offseason. Training camp's just around the corner. We'll talk to you again soon. Go Pack.